Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, React and Chill. I'm Dika. So last time on This Is Us, we had seen Randall reaching his breaking point in terms of the stress he was dealing with work, along with coming to terms with William's death, and that hit a breaking point as he was having a breakdown, emotional and mental, breakdown in his office. We also saw how during this day, it was leading up to the opening for the play for Kevin. So it was the opening night for Kevin's play, and obviously Kevin had a lot of nerves going on, and he needed to speak to someone in his family. Obviously, during this time, he did notice the pressure, like the external pressures that Randall was slowly cracking up under, but because he couldn't get the opportunity to speak to someone in his family, he had that really nice moment between himself and Miguel, which was really touching. Kate and Toby decided to open a bit more about after Kate was kicked out of the fat camp. Kate and Toby had started opening up a bit more about their lives so they could get to know each other a little bit more, and obviously a lot of things I would say came out and not come out at the same time, which led to the decision that Toby said maybe we should wait. I mean, I'm happy being engaged, but let's get to know each other for us to be in a position where we could open up to one another fully before they decided to embark on getting married. And then in the past, finally, we saw how it was Valentine's Day, and Jack, unfortunately, he found out that Ben and Rebecca had a previous relationship or had history together. This was something that Rebecca did not disclose to him, however, and which led to a massive fallout between them as they were arguing. And obviously Rebecca had pointed out that, I know that you get like this and that you're jealous, and certain things had come out at that night, unfortunately, which led to Jack enjoying their Valentine's tradition by himself. So he said to Rebecca, I'm going out, and he still went there to enjoy it by himself. And I forgot to mention, as Kevin realised what was happening with Randall, he had left the opening night. He was so nervous and so worried about what was going on. He had actually left the opening night of his play to go be with Randall, and realising that this was something, after the conversation with him and Miguel saying that you are Jack Pearson's son, knowing that this is something his dad would have done too, left the opening night. So for me, that was something like Kevin, that was the most selfless thing Kevin could ever do, putting someone else first, and for once putting his brother first. So yeah, no, last time was a good episode. We found out about loads of different things. So now here we are with episode 16, Memphis.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. I see some. You'll never know, dear,
Oh.
how much I love. Going to be okay. We're going to be okay, William.
Oh, is that? Oh.
1 week ago, you had a breakdown. Your blood pressure was through the roof, your vision was going in and out, and then paralysis, not to mention the tremors.
Oh.
His father, who was in the throes of stage 4 cancer, no less, on a cross-country road trip.
Country.
Oh, well, Memphis is not next door.
And he'd very much like to show me where he's from. Maybe even introduce me to some extended family, which for me would be a really big deal,
So,
Oh.
I saw that.
This is actually quite nice. He gets to spend this time with his dad. He knowing full well William doesn't have a lot of time left.
You keep up with your chest while I'm gone, you hear? Okay, then. Go back to sleep.
Take good care of you, too.
I'll send you a postcard.
Don't drive too fast, okay? Come on.
Bridge onto a busy highway, give me a heads up. Yep. There you go.
We gotta check about the window.
Hey, just drive, son. We'll get there. I hate that you're leaving.
Grandma's not doing well.
So you have to drop everything to go take care of her?
Yes, William. I do. Time to spread your wings. Focus on your art, your music. You have a gift, baby.
You know, I didn't believe her at first when she told me about you having a breakdown.
Oh.
Is it okay to call it a breakdown? It's hard to fathom. You seem to have it all together.
Yeah. That's what that.
Always been like that.
That's literally what I was saying last time, that Randall always felt like he had to keep it together, and that's probably why Kevin started noticing that, you know, Randall wasn't keeping it together, and even William admits that it was strange. He was shocked, sorry, not strange, was shocked seeing him that way because he's usually so polished.
Whenever I get two in my head, he takes his
Yes.
hands, put them on both sides of my head, and he just says, "There you go, breathe." What was he like, your father? Larger than life, I guess. Think we could go?
Aw.
I'd like to pay my respects. I like that accent.
Thank you
Hmm.
for doing what I could. For raising him to be the man he is. I would have liked to have met my son's father.
Dear William, I received your beautiful poem and it gave me comfort. Dear William, it was so nice talking to you last week. I'm so glad to hear the band is doing so well and that your cousin is staying focused.
Well, it's about damn time, boy. Been waiting on your talented skinny ass to take us to the big time. Let it be.
Ooh.
Officially ended our day as a cover band, boy. On the fire.
I like how we get the transition from them starting in the bar, slowly getting more people and playing a bit more to a bigger crowd.
Hi, Mama.
Hmm.
Okay. GPS, don't need to plug anything in, just make a left right up here. All right. It's where I used to live with my mother. Just the two of you? Always just the two of us, yeah. There's probably people who
I
live
want to
there
see
now.
if my treasure is still there.
Your what? Hey.
Random.
Afternoon. I don't know. I'm not. Hey, William, maybe you shouldn't distort.
My treasure.
Yeah? Well, what is it? I mean,
I put them here once. And after all these years later, they're still here.
okay. So, here's your brick. I didn't know that was gonna happen, but thank you, folks. God bless you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know timing isn't great. With us taking off and all. Hey, your mama needs you. All right, never apologize for taking care of family. Let's do it.
And I'm assuming this is how he ended up in Pittsburgh. Oh my goodness.
It's me,
I
William.
know who you are.
Mm.
Get the hell out of my club.
Mm. Some bad blood because he never came back.
You look like
Mm.
I do. Because, you know, I've had a few people say that to me, but I don't really. My mama.
I told you not to come.
Is this? Oh, so he must have stayed in her flat. This must be her apartment.
It won't be long at least. I don't want you getting stuck here. Your life is in Memphis.
And here we are, the beginning of the story. But I wonder when he fell into drugs. I'm assuming it might have been when he lost his mum then.
When you were a child, you looking up at me. And now, I'm down here. You're up there.
Yeah, and this is where, because
I was ashamed of what I had become. Right, I'm well aware I ruined everything.
Too sick to play?
oh,
I'm never too sick to play.
William's second cousin and your third cousin.
oh.
So you get a cousin. Everybody gets a cousin. Sorry, I was raised by white people.
The pictures are incredible. Is he actually playing on stage?
He is. Yeah. But I was thinking, we could.
Oh.
It's okay, I'm gonna get you to the hospital, okay?
Honestly, it's a bit of a miracle he was able to make the trip.
But we haven't made the trip. We haven't even seen the ducks, man.
Mr. Pearson, I'm very sorry, but he's looking at hours here, a day or so at best.
Whoa.
He's got months, maybe more even.
I'm very sorry, but you asked me to be direct, so I will be.
He won't even.
Your father is not leaving this hospital.
I spoke with the doctor.
Mm.
You knew you weren't coming home.
I got something for you. Waiting for the right moment. I want them to remember looking up at me, not down. My beautiful boy. Come on now, breathe with me.
Yeah, and Randall looks like his mother as well. Oh. Oh, the ducks. Oh. Oh, that was much more painful towards the end than I thought. Oh my goodness. Oh. Man, I just couldn't. That was. That was episode 16, Memphis. So, that was a really nice William-centric episode. We got to see his parents. Obviously, he'd lost his father in the war. Then we got to see his relationship with his mum and obviously how things were for him when he was coming up in Memphis and living with his cousin and the band. And obviously, what changed his life was when obviously his mother went to Pittsburgh to look after William's grandmother. And essentially, William had to go to Pittsburgh to look after his own mother who got ill. And he consequently met Randall's mother, Laurel, there, who essentially that's where that part of the story had kicked off. So I'm assuming Laurel, or the neighbours and the people who was around in Pittsburgh, unfortunately, that's how he fell into drugs. And obviously, there's pretty much history at that point. Laurel was doing it, and then he started falling into drugs. And I'm assuming what had the catalyst for that would have also been his mother's death. So, setting off on this road trip to Memphis, even the doctor said it was a miracle that he even made the trip, but it was something he'd wanted to do. And even Randall caught on at the end. He knew he wasn't going to come back, and I assumed, yes, he was home. This is where he was, and he, he'd come back. He came back to the mother to the house he grew up in, and he found his treasure, and he got a chance to show Randall at least a little piece of him, a last piece of him in his neighborhood. I did enjoy how Randall was getting to meet all his cousins and all the different people, this side of his family that he never knew existed until he was in his late 30s, essentially. So within, I think, a year or so, meeting his father again. I found that really touching when obviously William went to the point where part of Jack's ashes were scattered, thanking Jack for raising Randall, doing what he couldn't. And I also do like at the end where he made up with his cousin Ricky, who, yes, at the time, and people have said this, that he was a writer and he made that song that he wrote was beautiful. But obviously what happened with his mother, he was wanting to come back, and obviously William felt bad, but it was nice they got the opportunity to play with the band and with Ricky one last time. So finally, obviously, when he was at the end, saying goodbye to Randall, and obviously saying that, just like what his mother had said to him, I'm always looking down on you, now I'm having to look up at you. And he said, I wanted the last thing they saw was them looking up at me. And, I hope I don't cry again, because, that moment where William was struggling to breathe, and William was scared, and Randall did. It was such a very nice, touching moment. To combine Jack, Randall, and William in this beautiful trinity, where we found that he told us earlier on in the episode that that's what Jack used to do. He used to, because of his panic attacks he used to have even as a child, he used to put his hand on his son's face to calm him down. And this is now translated into how one of the last things Randall did for his own father was to help him calm down, to help him the final part of his journey. And he finally was able to give Randall that book, Poems for My Son. No, that book he never got the opportunity to give Rebecca when she had come to visit him for the last time, all those years ago. But something now he could take with him, and he left him some really sweet antidotes about have the window down, drive with the music on blast, sort of thing. So these little things that he'd always remember, and obviously being able to encompass that whole relationship within that short space of time he had. Towards the end, William did mention the two best people in his life were the person he'd started off with was his mother, and the person here at the end who was Randall. Those are he lived a pretty good life if that's what he could have. And if he'd repeated, I know I would have, I was already on the edge, but I know I would have been sent off the edge if, before his mom left for Pittsburgh, she said, "You're the best thing that ever happened to me." And if you'd repeated those words, I don't think I'd have been able to film the rest. So yeah, that was it was such a touching, loving goodbye to William Hill. I knew he was going to eventually die, very aware of it, and I did say a couple of episodes ago that I would have not been able to hold back, and here we are. So yes, that was such a loving episode, and obviously it's a shame we couldn't have more of William, but it's even William said to Randall, what a thing, how crazy it was that you came and knocked on my door all that time ago. So yeah, so that was episode 16. Oh, we're finally nearing the end. We only got a couple more episodes left of season 1. And as always, if you did like my video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.